Erik Ten Hag just saluting the Stretford ends. He makes his way back to the dressing room after a really hard-fought victory in that second 45 minutes. David De Gea with the perfect response to being left out of Spain's plans for the upcoming World Cup. Terrific from him, terrific from Harry Maguire, as you heard as well. Manchester United up to 5th in the Premier League table, 1 point behind Newcastle with a game in hand, 3 points behind Spurs with a game in hand. And I'm just scrolling. 7 points ahead of Liverpool.
With a game in hand?
No.
Oh, just checking. All right, cool.
Look at the goal difference, though. Now, we are going to go on and talk about Spurs, and they get a lot of stick for their style of play. Look at Man United's goal difference. +1. Yeah, scored 17, conceded 16. It's not great, is it? That's not exciting. Do you know what?
And that's the thing we're going to
throw. As the guys were saying there, that was a gritty victory for Manchester United. I think you mentioned it earlier. The first 2 games of the season, well beaten at home by Brighton, hammered by Brentford. That was a disgrace, that defensive performance against Brentford. Erik Ten Hag to go from there to where we are today, a clean sheet against West Ham, without Rafa Varane, who's been so important for Manchester United. I think what he's done is he's got the team working together, and that hasn't happened for a while. Mickey mentioned Dalot there. For me, Dallow's the most improved player in the Premier League. He's been a revelation this season. Yeah. But to restore confidence in the likes of Martinez, his confidence would have taken a battering after being bullied by the likes of Ivan Toney at the G-Tech Community Stadium. To restore confidence in Manchester United as a team and to get the supporters united with that team again, I think he's worked wonders, Ten Hag, in a short space of time.
Do you know what he's done for me? He's created a bit of a fear factor in the manager again. Now, I don't think Man United's had that in a long time. Since Sir Alex Ferguson, they've tried it. Mourinho's tried it. But that fear factor, and that's by making all the correct decisions, in my opinion. He continued to have Harry Maguire as the captain, rightly so. Had a few bad games, took him out of the team. He hadn't got back in until today, where he played magnificent, still club captain. Luke Shaw took him out of the team when he was off form. The decision he made with Cristiano Ronaldo, made the right call, then put him back into the team. He brought that fear factor as a manager again, and the players seem to have responded really well to that. And now they know it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. If you're not putting it in, or if you're making the wrong decisions off the field, you're out the team.
And we're just seeing the goal again, a prodigious leap from Marcus Rashford. Brilliant header. He didn't have that in his locker last season. He's restored his confidence as someone who can go and score goals on a regular basis in the Premier League. Ronaldo, hardline treatment. Didn't like him storming off against Tottenham. Yeah. Dropped him from the matchday squad. How's Ronaldo going to react to that? Is he going to sulk even more, or is he going to get his head down and work for the team? On the evidence of what we saw today, it's the latter.
They put a shift in.
That's good man management. That's good management from Ten Hag.
1,000%. Ambrose hit it. The fear factor's one, and it's the respect, because like Mourinho came in and he did it. There were certain players like Mourinho wasn't, and Mourinho, it was a successful time regardless of however they played there. When Mourinho came in, Man United, they had success, and Mourinho had the name to come in, so people kind of knew they had to do it the Mourinho way. Whereas Ten Hag has come in and he's gained the respect and followed through with his actions, and that's what you need to do. So now players know that it don't matter if you're Ronaldo or Alanga. Yep. If you don't tell to his rules, you're going to come out. And then ultimately you're seeing that, you know what, it is the team first and foremost. But like it's saying, you're seeing Rashford looks like a totally different player. Yep. Like he was, for me, he had no confidence in the way he was playing last season. Whereas now he's dunking on people. That header there, he's dunking. You haven't seen that with Rashford. You're seeing him, you know, of course.
Bruno Fernandes is working a lot harder for the team than he was last season.
And I think and that shows where the team's getting put first, because I think you're losing some of what Fernandes is good at, that creativityness, because he has to work so hard and that's what it is. The team does well. And look, again, I don't like giving props, but we will give props where props is due. Yep. Even what you saw then, West Ham at home, and I'm not disrespecting West Ham, but how every single player went to go and high five De Gea at the end of the game. Yep. That is team. That is team spirit. That's the togetherness. That's what you need. That comes from the manager. That, look, it's the team first and foremost, and then everything else then follows.
I want to ask you, Crookie, because I know you had a little bit of back and forth with Danny Murphy. Now, a special word from you about the player for me who makes Man United tick, and that's Christian Eriksen.
I love him. I absolutely adore Christian Eriksen, and you're right, I did have a bit of a set to on White and Jordan with Danny Murphy, because he described the signing as underwhelming. Didn't think he'd hold down a regular place in the first 11. Didn't think he was a world-class player. He is the player that makes Manchester United tick. And I think I just said to Danny at the time, stop being so miserable. This is a guy whose heart stopped on the pitch. It's a miracle that he's still alive, let alone competing at the highest level in the Premier League and about to lead out his country at the World Cup. I'm commentating his first game for Denmark for talkSPORT. That will be an emotional moment for me, because I commentated the game when he collapsed in Copenhagen. It was a horrendous situation. For him to turn things around and come back the way that he has, maybe come back an even better player, maybe spurred on by what was a life-changing, a life-defining moment. I think it's one of the stories, not just of this season, I think it's one of the stories in modern times. And take all that away, just his footballing ability. He's got such a clever brain. His passing.
He improves the players around him as well.
We keep saying that. Look, for me, that shows there's levels and there's levels. So when you're a good player, but then you can improve those around you, that shows levels. And that's what it seems like United are doing. They're signing characters as well as ability. So therefore, it's not just about the individual. It's about the collective. And those that are there before are now having to buy into the direction that they're going. And that's where you're seeing why they're fifth in the table. It hurts me to say.
I know we've said this as well, but special praise got to go to Harry Maguire. He's had untold amounts of stick. He hasn't played a lot of football.
Pick him up again, please.
He's putting his head.
Yeah, because
today he's putting his head where it hurts. He made a slight mistake in the first half. No doubt people have jumped on that. I thought he was fantastic today, and alongside Martinez and obviously the players that are out and missing, things are looking good and positive in the defensive side of Manchester United once again.
We've had a text here, a tweet at talkSPORT. Luke, come on. When Mourinho did the same stuff as Ten Hag, it was that he was bullying the players. Ten Hag does it and he's a genius. Give it a rest. Rashford is a different player because he had a full pre-season. It's not rocket science. I've not seen Ten Hag bully a Manchester United player. What, dropping Ronaldo for storming off is bullying?